Paul Revere's Ride, penned in 1994 by David Hackett Fischer, a distinguished historian and professor at Brandeis University, marks the inaugural scholarly investigation into the famed midnight journey of Paul Revere, a pivotal event at the genesis of the Revolutionary War. Fischer endeavors to untangle the threads of historical fact from the embellishments of patriotic lore surrounding Revere's ride. In addition to Revere, Fischer delves into the persona of British General Thomas Gage, the military overseer of Massachusetts. Commencing with Revere's lineage, tracing back to his father Apollos, a French immigrant fleeing religious persecution, Fischer paints a portrait of young Paul's upbringing in the milieu of New England Puritanism. From assuming his father's metalworking enterprise at a tender age to his civic engagements as a Boston market clerk and health officer, as well as his affiliations with the Masonic Lodge, Fischer portrays Revere as a community-minded individual deeply enmeshed in the fabric of colonial society. He highlights Revere's extensive network within the independence movement, notably his close ties with luminaries such as John Hancock and Sam Adams. Engaged in acts of resistance from the outset, including participation in the Boston Tea Party, Revere emerges as a central figure among Boston patriots, often undertaking perilous missions to convey messages to Allied factions and the Continental Congress. In Chapter 2, Fischer introduces General Thomas Gage, challenging the caricature of him as a despotic figure, instead presenting him as a liberal-minded Briton sympathetic to the colonists' grievances. As tensions escalate following the Boston Tea Party, Gage assumes the governorship of Massachusetts. In 1774, in a bid to avert armed conflict, Gage seizes control of the state's gunpowder reserves, triggering a mass mobilization of tens of thousands of colonists towards Boston. Despite Gage's plea for reinforcements, only 400 troops are dispatched to aid him. In response, Massachusetts rebels swiftly organize militias and establish a network of express riders to sound alarms. Revere takes charge of a clandestine spy ring to monitor British movements in Boston, successfully thwarting their efforts to control weapon shipments. Meanwhile, the British forces grapple with sickness, shortages, and internal discontent, exacerbating tensions as clashes erupt between soldiers and colonists. As Gage plans to apprehend rebel leaders, news of his intentions spreads, prompting the leaders to flee Boston. Undeterred, Gage devises a strategic strike on Concord, only to be outmaneuvered by Revere, who races ahead to forewarn the locals. Despite Gage's attempts to intercept colonial messengers, his efforts inadvertently alert the populace to the imminent threat. Both British troops and Bostonians brace for the impending confrontation. Fischer suggests that Gage's wife, Margaret Kemble, may have leaked crucial intelligence to the colonists, including details of the British plan to capture Hancock and Adams and dismantle the Concord arsenal. In response, Patriot leader Joseph Warren dispatches Revere to Lexington to alert the targets. Evading British patrols, Revere orchestrates a signal system using lanterns in the Old North Church steeple, then embarks on a perilous journey, securing a horse named Black Beauty and navigating treacherous routes to reach Lexington. There, he rouses Adams and Hancock before pressing on to Concord. Meanwhile, in Boston's Back Bay, British forces assemble for their assault. Due to a series of setbacks, including delays, inadequate planning, and the effectiveness of the Bostonians' alert system, the British forfeit the element of surprise. Gage receives word that reinforcements may be necessary. During a skirmish, Revere and fellow patriots are apprehended by a British patrol. While his comrades manage to evade capture, Revere defiantly faces interrogation, divulging crucial information to his captors and warning them of the imminent threat posed by 500 militiamen en route. Startled by distant gunfire, the British soldiers hastily retreat, leaving Revere behind. In Lexington, Massachusetts militias congregate amidst a wave of refugees seeking sanctuary from potential British retaliation and rumored slave uprisings. Revere returns to Lexington, persuading Hancock and Adams to depart for Woburn. He then courageously retrieves a trunk of Hancock's documents, narrowly evading the advancing British troops. As tension mounts, the colonists, fearing overwhelming British forces, contemplate retreat, with leaders resorting to drastic measures to deter desertion. Amidst confusion, gunfire erupts, triggering a chaotic skirmish between British troops and colonists, resulting in numerous casualties. The conflict escalates in Concord, where militia forces, bolstered by reinforcements, engage the British in fierce combat, inflicting heavy losses upon their ranks. Despite a temporary British respite under Lord Percy, the militia numbers swell, precipitating further clashes as the British retreat towards Bunker Hill, sustaining significant casualties. Patriots, including Revere, convene in Cambridge to strategize their next course of action, marking the onset of war. Fischer's book concludes with an epilogue detailing the post-war fates of key protagonists such as Revere, who flourished as a successful entrepreneur, and Gage, who faced recall to England following the Battle of Bunker Hill. Praised by Kirkus Reviews for its engaging narrative and insightful analysis, Fischer's work stands as a comprehensive chronicle of this pivotal chapter in American history. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.